Hello, I'm Tim Ernst, and I want to welcome you to the Fort Smith Regional Art Museum, where my brand new print exhibit on Arkansas wilderness is showing. Here you'll see 36 different canvas prints of wilderness scenes that I've taken over the last 40 years of my work in the great state of Arkansas. Let's go take a look at a few of them up close. This is one of my most favorite nighttime pictures, and it shows the Milky Way late in the summertime, where it's kind of laid over like this and looking out across the Upper Buffalo Wilderness area. And it's not sunrise or sunset here. It was taken like about 3 o'clock in the morning. And the glow you see along the horizon there is actually the city lights from Fort Smith, which is like 40 or 50 miles away from here. And it's just got the sea of fog in the bottom and the fall color, very long exposure. So you get to see both the stars and some of the fall color that's lit up by starlight. This is the famous Hawksbill Crag, or Whittaker Point, which is in the Upper Buffalo Wilderness area near where I lived for 20 years. And I've photographed it literally hundreds of times, and I never felt like I got the best picture of it. This morning I'd been there about an hour taking pictures, and the light was just so-so. It was kind of flat and dull. And as I was packing up to leave, I looked up and the clouds started to separate and the sun started coming down and sending these God beams on the opposite hills and down in the valley. And as the clouds moved, the beams were just dancing back and forth. And I was running around like crazy, scrambling, trying to make sure I got a good picture of it. I took 4 or 5 pictures, and this one is my favorite of all of them. But I just really love the way it backlights the crag and the trees down here, but you can see detail in the beams coming down. When I was growing up in Arkansas, bald eagles were on the endangered species list, and you never saw one here. 20 or 30 years ago, as a photographer, I got interested in them, and we'd see one every now and then. It was just an incredible experience. Now, because of the vast wilderness of lands we have in Arkansas, we have a lot of bald eagles. And this particular one was kind of walking around in this shallow pond in Boxley Valley near the Buffalo River, and I was photographing him for 30 or 45 minutes. And finally, he kind of was standing in the water, turned and looked right at me, and just shook his head violently. And you have to get up real close to this print to look at it, but you can see the water droplets coming off of his neck right there. I've never seen an eagle do that before. And he's a great American beauty. This is the newest photograph of mine that's in the exhibit. I took just a couple of years ago at Pettigene State Park, just down the river a little ways. And it's of Cedar Falls, and it was actually taken after sunset. So it was very dark in the canyon down here. And in order to get this view and the reflection, I had to wade out into the middle of the creek, set my tripod up out there, and make a very long exposure because the light was so dim, so that everything would expose correctly. And during the full minute-long exposure, you can see the foam coming off the waterfall was recorded, its movement going across the water. And you can see that I was in the middle of the creek because the foam goes to both sides. This picture is on the cover of our brand new 2021 Arkansas wall calendar. Really special place. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you'll get a chance to come by the Fort Smith Regional Art Museum and see my Arkansas Wilderness print exhibit. Until then, see you in the woods.